Hello once again, I'm Kevin Turner from Real Estate Talk and welcome to this special podcast on behalf of Australian property investor. 29-year-old Kate Newman has grown a property portfolio of more than $2.6 million and she's done it in just 4 years. And now she has plans to take her investing international. Welcome, Kate. Thanks for your time.
No worries.
It's been great to talk to you. I've been looking forward to this. Where did your interest in property come from?
Well, my parents owned property and investment properties, so growing up I got to have some insight on those opportunities. Loved playing Monopoly as a child, and yeah, just as soon as I was old enough to actually start looking at it myself, started taking that opportunity.
So any of those skills that you learned in Monopoly, have you been able to bring those into your investment strategy?
Yeah, I was always the banker.
Ha.
I like control over the finance side of things, so and just buy.
Buy. How did you prepare to make that first investment?
I guess the thing that gave me confidence was a book I was given as a gift. Steve McKnight, I think it's 130 properties in three and a half years or something like that.
Yes.
That sort of inspired me and made it obvious to me that was a good opportunity and a way to make some money, and something I was interested in as well, which obviously helps. And then the magazines, the Australian Property Investor magazine, I sort of used that as a textbook when I was getting started, just with all the lingo and the vacancy rates. They used to publish all sorts of sort of changed over the years, but I found that really useful, read about other people's experiences.
Tell me about that first investment. Where was it?
Kelvin Grove, so not too far from where we live. We're sort of Brisbane city. What made that a standout for us was the location was great. I guess taking on a big risk like that for me, vacancy rate, an area with a really low vacancy rate, was important. So I felt confident that we were going to be able to keep it rented. We also went with the renting by the room, which was an easier way to get a better return on the property. So Kelvin Grove's close to the city, also university. And it also had a self-contained unit below, which the current owners were just using as a music studio, but I saw that as potential for a separate dwelling and really help with that rental return as well.
Were there any problems with that single room strategy, just letting out the rooms? Would you do that again?
We self-manage, so my husband, he does that side of the business. I love the researching and looking for the properties and doing the figures, but he's really good at managing people and a handyman, so he does that side of things. It is a lot of work when you rent by the room, but we've been very fortunate. All our tenants are great. We haven't had any horrific experiences, and we find that when you rent by the room, the tenants will look out for one another. If someone's not doing what they should be or not a pleasant person to live with, you hear about it pretty quickly, and generally they'll move on. So it's a good way to keep an eye on your property.
Is it common areas, the common kitchen, bathroom? Yeah. So it's effectively a boarding house, is it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So they pay individual rent for their room, and we include internet and power with that too. So it's quite convenient. They're also furnished, so it's really convenient for uni students or people who are moving out of home. It's all set up. They don't have to worry about setting up power or committing to a 6-month lease. We do it month by month.
Was it difficult to get insurance on it at all?
No insurance. I mean, with those sorts of things, there are higher costs involved, but the return is worth it.
Yeah. A lot of people, of course, stop at their first property. You've gone on and developed a whole portfolio. Why do you think it is? What's the stumbling block for a lot of people, do you think?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I guess it has to be something that you are interested in or passionate about, because it is a lot of work and a lot of risk, I guess, for people. If it's not something you really want to do, it's easy not to, I guess.
I understand from reading the article on API that you and your husband Tim started this, or you started it as a bit of a hobby. Do you work as a team? You indicated there that Tim's very much a part of that team, but do you look after all the financial decisions?
Yep. In terms of keeping track of the rent and the bills and the finance side of things, that's sort of my role. Dealing with the tenants and reletting the rooms and the handyman stuff, that's definitely Tim's area of specialty.
Yeah. Interesting to note too that your parents were guarantors on your second property, I think it was. Is that something you'd recommend other people do?
There's a lot of risk involved for the other party when you do go guarantor. I think there is, some fine print there where later down the track, I've heard some horror stories where, people have come after. So in hindsight, not that anything bad has happened. In hindsight, I think it is a bit of a risky thing to do. You really have to have trust.
Well, risky for your parents financially, but probably risky for you in the relationship situation.
Yeah, exactly. When you get relationships involved, too, it complicates things. So, they're very supportive in my dream and buying more property. So it was a very generous offer, and I accepted it. But I wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
Anyone watching this, young person watching it who is inspired by what you've done, what would be the best piece of advice you could give them about getting started?
There's so much information out there, the magazines, the books. If you're interested, just read up about it. It's not unachievable. It's definitely something anyone can do on any sort of income as well. I've proven that to myself. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's other ways, finance is an issue. Other people that have money that don't have the time or the desire to invest that you can have connections with. So I think anything's achievable if you've got an interest and a passion.
Kate, thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely talking to you.
No worries. Thank you.